funny. But whenever you go traveling, somehow you always end up having to run. It's so difficult not to fidget. Traveling is so exciting. Of course, you can read about a country in books, but the real thing, when you actually see it, how different will it be? Traveling is so exciting. Don't worry, you'll soon be there. Of course you're wondering what Denmark will be like, what the people will be like. Where did she come from? Maybe you'd better ask her. Well now, is everything under a magic spell? She was pretty, wasn't she? Who do you think she was? Of course, she may be somebody out of a fairy tale, by Hans Andersen, for instance. A mermaid can't be real. Not really real. Maybe they're sort of related, the mermaid and... There she is again. Go on, talk to her. She's gone. It does seem rather like a magic spell, doesn't it? Seems there's quite a lot you'll have to learn before you begin to discover what it's all about. Copenhagen makes an impression on you. A big city. It may confuse you with its traffic, its organization, its authority, and especially its bicycles. Swarms of cycling citizens. Helplessly, you're swept along with the tide. What you come to look for flits ahead, just out of reach. If you really want to find it, then you must keep on looking, searching, ceaselessly. On your way, you meet courteous people, helpful people, maybe indignant people. Wasn't that a flash of red? Was that what you're looking for? No, not really. And yet, in a way, yes. A postman in a gay scarlet jacket. A part of the kaleidoscope. This, too, is a part. The Royal Life Guards who parade through the streets every day in their bearskin hats. On special occasions, they wear red jackets, too. You follow the band. You must. It's a tradition. Everybody does. Infectious music. Music that is carried over the rooftops of the city. It echoes from the old houses alongside the canals, from Christiansborg, seat of the government, from the stock exchange, from churches and houses, old and new, all over the city. An echo, too, perhaps, from the round tower, a beckoning invitation from a red brick 100-foot-high 17th century skyscraper, but one of many buildings, imperiously beautiful, built by Denmark's famous architect king, Christian IV. Peter the Great, Tsar of Russia, once drove up this spiral ramp in a coach and four. Those who know how to listen can sometimes hear the muffled echo of those historic horses' hooves. When you walk up, it's not hard to understand why Peter thought it would be much nicer to drive. Up here, the wind whispers to you about Copenhagen, home of 1 million souls and of ancient traditions, capital of the oldest kingdom in the world. A kingdom rich in history and tradition, as the guidebooks say, ever since prehistoric times, when nobody even bothered to consider the possibility of living together in larger communities. When men were buried in lonely tombs, tombs that still stand today. The warlike Vikings were the founders of many a proud Danish tradition. Today, open-air festivals commemorate their persistent efforts to conquer the world. Limestone frescoes record how they were taught in time a milder Christian philosophy. With the passing of centuries, the Danes began to build up their kingdom from within, concentrating on more homely pursuits. Brickmaking demanded patience. The methods used up until the last century, together with other aspects of everyday life in the past, can be seen today in museums. Draft for the brick oven's furnace provided by gunpowder. Bricks for ancient castles and manor houses scattered all over the country, sometimes haunted. From a tiny window, a white, mysterious lady peers down at her visitors. Stately homes, too expensive to live in, some of them have therefore been converted into state museums. Bygone times have left their mark. Even their very atmosphere pervades a historic town, a section of the city of Aarhus, where old houses have been brought, stone by stone, beam by beam, and put together again. Where a royal mail coach of dignified vintage serves the world's oldest still functioning post office. Both the old and the new have their traditions. A modern stork fetches babies much the same way as its ancestors did, gazes musingly from its lofty perch down upon the quaint little town, so proud of its 900-year-old cathedral. Maybe storks do have a superior attitude, but many people find them rather comforting to have at hand. Who knows? One day he too may achieve worldwide fame like Hans Andersen, the Danish storyteller, whose birthplace at the town of Odense is filled with treasures, those priceless treasures of your childhood, never forgotten tales, the emperor's new clothes, the tinderbox, the ugly duckling, the story of a storyteller who in much the same way one day became a proud and noble swan. There are small towns where a town crier informs the township of important events. Maybe old Grandma Jensen lost her glasses. Maybe somebody's getting married. Weddings where all the guests appear in traditional folk costumes. Where the bride and groom dance a traditional dance and drink a traditional toast. Skål, a Danish toast from a Danish glass. Tradition, too, in the hands of proud craftsmen. Blow, lift. Blow, suck.
And presto, a decanter for your Danish snaps. And presto, Danish silver in traditional designs, or as the provocative expression of the rhythm of our times. Times to be kept abreast of in schools and universities, where all forms of study are fostered, be it the splitting of atoms or the churning of butter. For this is the only way to maintain exports, by maintaining quality. That quality which is found all over the world and recognized by the Danish national mark of the entwining lures. So it's somebody's job to watch for ships and see to it that the flag is dipped in answer to their greeting. An old worldly form of courtesy. Flag that flies from the castle of Elsinore.
Go on! I'll follow thee!
Denmark owes much to Shakespeare, whose choice of Elsinore Castle as a home for young Hamlet is regarded by all Danes as most fortunate indeed. Theatrical companies of international repute present the play beneath the towering walls of the mighty courtyard.
Thou comest in such a questionable shape that I will speak to thee. I call thee Hamlet, King, Father, Royal Dane.
Royal Dane. On special occasions, everybody enjoys waving a flag for the Danish monarchy. On His Majesty's birthday, or when the King and thousands of Danish Americans gather on the heather-covered hills at Rebild for the annual celebrations on the 4th of July. Managed to catch a glimpse yet of, well, you know, what you were searching for? Or do you feel you ought to look some more? There are many ways of getting around the countryside, on horseback, bicycle, or you can try your luck at hitchhiking. Those who convince themselves that they are very pressed for time can travel from one end of the country to the other in a single day, even counting certain inevitable, temporary obstacles. For driving comfort, fine roads, roads that swing across the countryside, or via mighty bridges across the sea. In a country consisting of 500 islands, roads are interrupted decisively every now and then by channels as yet unbridged, where the answer is a ferry boat. Some of them are so big that they're capable of swallowing whole trains and scores of cars. Others, of somewhat limited capacity. There are even paddle boats, for those that have a weak spot for paddle boats. You can sail on the water, ski on it, or even, in some places, at low tide, drive peacefully across it in your car. Many fish are caught in these waters. Admittedly, not all by this method. In fact, several 100,000 tons a year. A few are sold at a picturesque fish market in the middle of Copenhagen. Danish fishermen set out from countless tiny harbors, going about their daily work like millions of other fishermen all over the world. But the miniature smoked herring is a Danish specialty, a source of national pride and gastronomical glee. From the middle of May until well into August, the nights are hardly dark at all, and light nights can have a strange, bewitching effect on some people. She's a lucky thing. And so they lived happily ever after. Yes, but where? A matter of taste, of course. A sweet little cottage buried in hollyhock. Or a medieval townhouse. Some might fall for an old watermill or a pleasant farm. Some might prefer a terrace house dating from 1600 and something, instead of its modern counterpart. Some houses are of the limited purpose type. Seafaring, and when they feel the Viking blood of their ancestors coursing through their veins, their boldness knows no bounds. At the country's northernmost point, two rival tides contend for supremacy. At some places, the bottom is shallow and sandy, and old-fashioned ideas of comfort prevail. Gracious living, one might call it. Though elsewhere, within the same realm, there are bold, black rocks to bathe from, or just to watch from. Eyes open for some particular thing or person. Sand dunes, masses of sand. Perhaps you hadn't expected that. Are you beginning to feel more confident about things? Do you feel you've discovered all the answers now? Careful. there are still surprises in store for you. A lady smoking a cigar, thinking nothing of it. A beach transportation service, surely unrivaled. Don't despair if it suddenly seems too much. You can hardly expect to take it all in at once. You'd better just go on. Don't take one of those. Don't spoil Cupid's little game. Better look for some other form of transportation. No need to be fussy. Dignity has its place too. Dignity and majesty in the stillness of the beech woods. Now, perhaps you are beginning to get somewhere. Perhaps you have learned something at last. Perhaps your reward is coming. Coming any moment now. Surely a moment worth perpetuating. Something to celebrate. Yes, something to celebrate. And where is the best place for a celebration? Most things, most people end up in Tivoli, naturally. Perhaps one might say because Tivoli is unique, unequaled. Everybody says so. Not because of its roller coasters or its merry-go-rounds. You can find those in any amusement park. No, it's an atmosphere of intangibles. You'll just have to wait and see for yourself. Then you'll find out that it's quite simply because Tivoli is Tivoli.